Hello everyone. Welcome. I am so freaking excited to be here today with our gorgeous, beautiful Rose, who is joining us from the deep depths of Western Australia. And Rose is one of the graduating Yoni massage practitioners. So I've brought her along today to have a chat so that you can get to know her and see who this incredible, beautiful woman is and what she has to offer the world. So hello, beautiful Rose. I would love for you to tell us, who are you and how did you come to be doing this work?
Okay, well, thanks, Amy. Thanks for having me on here. It's I'm really looking forward to having this chat with you, and I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to for me to be where I am today. So, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing this wonderful work. So I don't want to say cut that one out. As you know, I'm I'm Rose, and I live in Albany in Western Australia. And who am I? I'm a woman that wears a few different hats. I have been working with women in a dance capacity for probably 25 years now and practicing the art of belly dancing myself. And I think the belly dancing is what actually led me to looking deeper. I've seen my journey with belly dancing deepen and change over the years. I have gone from seeing it as a secular entertainment dance form to really discovering the mysteries underneath and what lies beneath that dance and the ancient women's practices. It's all about the pelvic floor. It's all about the Yoni. It stems from women's practices that have been forgotten over time. And even through belly dancing, I mean, even though we've, engaged the pelvic floor or, engaged the core, I didn't know to talk about that until probably the last 4 or 5 years of my dance journey. And then I started to see, like, hang on, there's something else in here. There's all this deep meaning in it. So I believe that it's through that work, working with women all over the place, that led me to discovering Yoni massage and taking my work and my focus a little bit deeper. Yeah,
absolutely. I think even as being a midwife and studying midwifery, we learned the history of belly dancing and how important belly dancing is and how it is the dance of women and it's the dance of birth, and it's so deeply connected to our pelvis and our womb and our yoni. Like, it's a really, really important way for women to move their bodies. So I love that. I love that about you, and that's what you bring to this work, because you know that you've been dancing with the power of the feminine for a very, very long time. So I love that you bring that to this work. So what drew you to want to be a practitioner then of Yoni massage? Like, why did you want to take it that step further?
It was actually through my experience of having a Yoni massage myself, probably 3 years ago, and I actually came to you when you were down this way, and I had a Yoni massage, and it cracked me open. And I just knew after that session that someday, somehow, because at that point you weren't offering the training program, you were still operating only in the capacity of a practitioner, and I didn't know that you were even, speculating doing this training. And I think I even asked you, and at the time it was, it was at that point, is there anybody teaching this? And there was somebody somewhere, but I don't know. I think I know now that I just needed to wait for you to create your training. So through having a Yoni massage myself, I saw the power that procedure offered me as a woman, and how I found parts of myself through that process and afterwards, probably for 12 months afterwards, about my own sexuality that I had not even been aware of and shut down. There's a lot of pain, and I know now through my own birth and my birth mother and probably her mother and her mother, the pain that I carried in myself and that I'd held on to and I'd shut down. And I thought I had a pretty good sex life, which I did. You know, I've always been quite a sexual, and I think because of the dancing, you know, like people, I think, possibly see me in the community as quite a, you know, vivacious kind of extroverted kind of or
Yeah.
she's in touch with her sexual energy. So I was, but there was a whole lot more that I didn't know that's sitting locked away down in the pelvic area. And I love what you said to me when I had my session with you, was you explained the Yoni as the basket at the bottom that catches and holds all that unresolved stuff, all of my own unwanted sexual experiences and my traumatic birth experiences, all of my, you know, traumatic periods and my menstruation and the pain, that all of that, and then my mothers and her mothers and her mothers, because we know now that we carry, I think, 7 generations of our foremothers' genetics in us, and that's not just physical genetics, that's intergenerational, all of that, yeah, the whole lot. So that was the beginning of the process of me undoing myself and embracing and embodying my sexuality and looking at what else is there and what else is possible. So it's huge. It was yeah, so that's what led me to do this. And then I knew that I was going to do this work. I just knew it. You know, when you have that instinctual knowing, that wasn't just a one-off for me. It's like, oh, this is just the beginning. It's only the beginning.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, all the other women who you have trained with have said the same thing. Like, it's just when you're drawn to this work, it's just this deep yearning somewhere within you. Like, it's bigger than this body, this life. Like, it's this yearning, it's this knowing of this work. And you know, I say to you at the beginning, I'm not here to teach you anything new. I'm here to help you remember what you already know.
Remember, right. Yeah,
and what you've done
right.
before.
Yeah.
And you know, that's what this work is. That's the true nature of this work. And you know, I love that, you know, you've been, and you're the beautiful crone of our group. You bring this incredible wisdom and stature of the mature woman, and I love that you have been able to represent that in this work. And I think, you know, with that, you bring all of your life experience, and you are a grandmother, you are a mother, you've had all your babies, you've had all these incredible relationships, and that just brings such a richness to who you are as a woman and what you offer as a practitioner. So tell us then about the training, and what has been, like, what's one of the biggest eye-openers for you in this training that you've learned about anything, yourself, about women, about this work? What's really kind of something that's made you go, wow, that's fucking big?
Well, one of the biggest eye-openers, and eye-openers, for want of a better word, was discovering, and still is discovering, that every woman's body and vulva is completely different but the same. And nothing is normal. Nothing is normal, because we don't have anything to compare ourselves to. We don't see, the only other women's vulvas we see is on pornography, if we choose to watch pornography. But those women actually have procedures done to snip off their labia, and what do they call it? Labiaplasty.
Labiaplasty, yeah.
So how do I then compare myself to that? You know, I for a long time felt I was ugly, felt that I was abnormal in some ways. So opening myself up to working and in this capacity with women. And so that part of the training, we did 4 massages and received 4. So I got to see for the first time in my life, except for the occasional kind of, you know, threesome sort of thing, you know, in the dark. Not even looking.
Touch on that later. Keep going for now.
I just thought I'd throw that in there. I've gone all red now. I've actually brought a little fan along with me today, so I'm going to go like this now. Oh, it's getting hot in here, baby. No, seriously.
Love it.
I got to experience 4 other women in their wholeness and in their fullness, women who haven't adulterated their vulva and they're quite comfortable and happy. And I got to see the variation, and it made me feel very, very normal about myself. It's like, wow, it's okay. It's all okay. We're all beautiful and we're all absolutely normal. So that was huge for me. That's about self-acceptance and self-love. That was really quite profound. What else about the training? The power of the massage, the power of the procedure, working in a room with 3 other women, well, actually 5 other women, including yourself, and feeling the power. So it wasn't just the power of what I was doing with my training partner at the time, or what she was doing with me. It was a collective power, and the power that we can create when we are real, when we are raw, when we are open and receiving. Bloody hell, there is so much energy and so much power in that. It was palpable in the room at times. Even though I was focused on what I was doing, I could still feel the energy in that room. And you know, because you were there holding that space for us. And it makes me think about how much we could do, how much change we could make, and how much love, how much change we could create in the world or in our communities when we are in that space together of creating divine power and energy. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what I think I mean is when we're closed off from each other and we're in separation, which is what we've taught, what we've learned to be, is separate from each other and therefore separate from ourselves. To me, that's dense and it's heavy and it's contracting. What I felt in that room at those times when we were working was expansion and incredible sense of connectedness with each other, and especially the person you're working with. And even through my case studies that I've completed, those times working with the women, the energy that's created is incredible. That's what's missing. That's the feminine creative power of love and sacredness. That was huge for me to experience and to honour that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I also loved the training. I loved the space that we were in, the space we were given in. It was a very sacred space in Bali, on that side of that hill in the bamboo forest. It was such a divine place to be together. Just people have said to me over the years, I've never been to Bali. That was my first trip to Bali, and it was such a blessing that I went there for the first time to do that work. And people have said to me about, oh, Mama, Bali heals you, and I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. But when you go there, yeah, whatever, because I'd never experienced. I was like, yeah, sure, you just love Bali.
Yeah.
But if you go there with that intention and you want that healing, the power's there. There's something special about that place.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that was a big part of me making the decision to have the retreat there, was that I could feel that. And I asked the land, I asked her for permission to do this work here, because the Balinese culture is very conservative. It's a Hindu religion. They're very conservative. So it was a big deal for me to facilitate this training here in Bali, where I live. And there was no other choice. There was no other place. This was it for that exact reason. So I love that you mentioned that. So what did all of that teach you or show you about who you are as a practitioner? What did you learn about yourself as a practitioner?
It showed me that I have the capacity to hold space for women. That I kind of knew that before, but this cemented it, deepened it, and put it into a much deeper, more specific context. That I have the ability to hold women and to create an experience, and that that I'm powerful. Can I say that? That I have a place in my life where, and that's been hard for me to say in the past. How hard is it for us to, as people, as just as humans, to say that I feel powerful in what I do. But through this training and through this work I'm doing, I feel really powerful. when women come and they trust and they open themselves up to me, that's a powerful thing to be able to offer people. And that's me, and that's what I've created in my life. So I'm in a really powerful place now. And yeah, empowerment is what I say.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I fucking own it, baby. Like this is who you are. And that's what I mean. Like, I taught you nothing new. You remembered this process. And doing this work is stepping into your power as a practitioner, as a woman who holds that space, who does this work, who guides other women through the same process to get to know herself, to embrace her sexual power and not be ashamed of that and not feel guilt or embarrassment or, I shouldn't say that. Like, Australians, especially in Australia, we're so good at, tall poppy syndrome. Oh, don't own your power. Don't own how good you are, because then you're showing off and it's not okay. But that's part of the problem. That's why women aren't stepping up in the world, because they're afraid to. So yeah, you became fucking powerful.
I did become powerful. And even though you say that you were only there to remind me, but the tools you offered me were fundamental and were amazing. And without those tools and without that guidance, I wouldn't have, I might have, but it might have taken me a lot longer. So it was a fast track to empowerment.
Oh yeah, that's a real fucking intense boiling pot that we create. So it's
Oh yeah.
Just having a quick look at the comments. They're giving you lots and lots of love hearts and saying, yes, you are a powerful woman, Rose. I remember,
thank you, everybody. Thank you.
One of my fondest memories of you on the retreat was you came to me one day, I think it was in the morning, and you said, I don't want to be here. I want to run away. My pattern is to run away. When things get hard, when things get too confronting, I want to run away. And I think it was in the morning, because you said last night is all I wanted to do was pack my bags and run away in the middle of the night. And then by the morning, no, it'd be too late to come catch me. And, I remember at the end of the week when we had the closing ceremony and each of you were kind of initiated into your erotic maven. And I said to you, you didn't run away. You're here. And you did it. You faced it. Full frontal, you faced it. And you did it. And I think that is just a testament to you and who you are and what you had, the fears that you overcame to do this work. And I think that's so incredible, because for women to come to you as a client, they have to do the same thing. They have to step over those fears and step into that space. And the fact that you know that journey, you have walked your talk, is really, really important. And that contributes to who you are as a practitioner. And that's so, so, so important. Women have to be able to trust you as a practitioner, to come to you and open up in such a big and deep way. So, well, tell us, you've done your case studies as part of the training. You have to complete case studies. So how would you describe to women who are thinking of coming to you for a massage, how would you describe to them what they can expect to receive from you?
You can expect the most amazing experience of your life, because that's what I'm going to create for you to have the opportunity to have the most amazing experience of your life. You will be held, you'll be witnessed, you'll be listened to, you'll be loved, you'll be cherished. You will be taken to a place, if you want to go, and I'll encourage you to go there, deep within yourself, to face yourself and face your fears. A couple of case studies who came to me had fear, and I could feel it on them. I could even smell it on them. They were fearful. They were very fearful, but they did it anyway, and I nurtured them through that. I will do the same. Whatever it is that you come to me with, whatever is your desire, whatever is your intention to have a Yoni massage session with me, I will guide you through that to the absolute best of my ability, and I will hold you in such sacredness and love and confidentiality that you'll walk away feeling like you've come through, and it's okay, and hopefully deepen a sense of yourself within yourself. You will have I don't know what else to say. I think that's it for now. I don't want to give too much away. I want there to be some I want there to be some mystery, but I want women to have a very pleasurable experience, in whatever way that looks for women. Releasing pain and emotion is hard and confronting, but it's rewarding in the end, and it's pleasurable in the end, because you walk away going, oh, I'm good. I feel better about myself.
Which is huge for a lot of women. A lot of women just long to feel that way about themselves. So that's such a gift for them to be able to give themselves and to experience. So why would a woman have a yoni massage with you? Like, what are some of the things that you have experienced in terms of what women bring? What is their intention? Why do they want to experience that work? The grandson.
I'm on nana duties today. Ask me that again, please.
What are some of the reasons or the intentions that women have had when they've come to you for a yoni massage? Like, why? What are some of the reasons that women would want to do this work?
Sure. Okay. So there's a couple of different intentions that I've had from women. One of them is about sexual trauma, and there's abuse that's happened in their lives, and they're at the point in their life where they know they need to clear that now. They've been hanging on to it, and for whatever way it's affected their lives, whether they've shut themselves down sexually, they find it hard to be in relationship. There's pain there that they're holding. So women, they're ready to face that, and that's huge. When women are ready to clear that, that's probably the biggest, most fearful place that women will come from when they want to clear that away. Something else. One of the other intentions was for her to deepen her experience of herself, to connect with herself on a much, much deeper level. So already, fairly connected with with the sacred feminine, doing practices, but like I said, just to take it deeper and deeper, and how deep can I go into that? One of the other intentions has been for women on a physical level, like if they've got some physical trauma in their vulva or their yoni. So there's some trauma that's been held from, say, surgery from birthing, or if they've had some kind of physical trauma, that can help the massage to help release that and clear away some of the pain. Because as we know, in any part of our body is where we can hold on to our emotional pain on a cellular level. Something else that maybe wasn't an intention, but a couple of times from two different of my case studies, after the massage, two of them have felt that their pelvic bowl was more aligned. They felt straighter because of the tendons and the ligaments that are all attached inside the yoni, and it's the only way to get to those ligaments and tendons. And you go to a chiropractor and they can't, or a physio, they can't go in there for you. That's not what they're trained to do. So they can't release those points. But through the massage, I can feel where those tendons and ligaments hold on and attach, and it's painful and it's worth releasing. And when they get up, they feel better, centered, straighter, taller.
Yeah, wow.
So,
huge. Yeah.
So there's been 3 or 4 different intentions so far.
Yeah, beautiful.
And I was going to say, I've received my first client, my first booking, and I already know what her intention is, and I'll share that with you because this is a good one. She has been shut down around her sexuality for 12 years. And very recently she met a man who's quite a bit younger and has sparked up her sexual energy again. But she feels shut down in a sexual way, even though she's having some pleasure and having some, able to orgasm, she still knows that she's shut down. And she wants to really connect with her sexuality and wake up that divine sexual energy.
Yeah.
So that's beautiful. That's like when I was like, oh yeah, this is good. So you can see there's a variety of different reasons and intentions.
Yeah, absolutely. And Yoni massage meets all of those. Like it does all of those things and so much more. It's such an incredible modality for women to step into, but it's one that a lot of women really hesitate to step into, and there's a whole 1,000 billion trillion reasons why. But what is something that you would say to those women who are curious about it, thinking about it, feeling drawn to it, but just are too scared to commit and book in and say yes? What would you say to them?
I would say if there is any inkling or any spark of interest or any desire at all, even on a deep level, come talk to me, get in touch with me, let me know, and I'm happy to sit down and actually talk with you one-on-one and explain it to you, but follow it through, because I know that nothing is random in this universe, and that when there is an impetus to do something, it's the universe telling you that there's something here for you. Pay attention, listen to it, and feel the fear, and do it anyway. Do it anyway.
Yeah.
Do it anyway. But then if women aren't ready, they're not ready, and that's okay too. But I would certainly absolutely encourage. I see the power and the benefit already after a short time of having my own Yoni massages and then doing what I've done. Absolutely. Come and do it. Talk to me. And be brave. Face yourself. Because what I say and understand is that when we are brave and we start to heal ourselves, everything else around us heals. Everything around us heals.
Yeah.
There was an amazing one of my case studies, a lot of fear, but she stepped into it and did it anyway. And I won't explain the whole family, situation, but within less than a week of having her Yoni massage, everything in her family dynamic shifted, everything to her benefit. So suddenly, from being isolated in her family unit with this issue, suddenly her siblings are online. She didn't even instigate that.
Yeah.
So the power, when we heal ourselves, everything else around us shifts and heals. Yeah. And I've seen it over and over. I've seen it in my own self. I've seen it in my own family with my own issues. I've seen it. It's the truth. That's what happens.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's why this work is so important. Like it's just, and women are wanting it. It's becoming more and more available, more and more acceptable, more and more common. Like it's still extremely fucking taboo and controversial and all that shit because, it is, and because it's so powerful. But it's becoming, women are becoming more curious and they're wanting things to support them to wake up. And this is one of the prime modalities for that. So one of the biggest, speaking of the taboos and the controversials and all of the shit that surrounds this work, is that it's seen as this sexual thing. And that's where one of the incredible paradoxes of this work is, yes, it's sexual, but no, it's not sexual at all. So like I love, before you mentioned that you're a sexually free woman, you love to explore and feel, and you're open to pleasure, and you've had, numerous lovers and experiences and experimenting with all that and delicious threesomes and all of the things. Is that something that you think is important for this work, or is that, like, I guess I'm looking at the correlation between this work being a sexual nature. This work doesn't mean that you're going to come out and be this incredible sexual free woman. It doesn't mean that you're going to go off and become a lesbian or have all these threesomes or these incredible fantasies with your partner. So even though that those of us who have done this work and explore ourselves tend to experiment and explore in that way, I guess that's not really what this work is about. Sometimes it comes as a side effect, if you like, but and I think that's one of the things that stops women doing this. It's like, I don't want to become that. I don't want to be that thing, which is just all fear, we know. But what do you feel is, like, how would you explain to women the paradox that this work is sexual but not sexual?
Okay, that's a really good question. I'm glad you asked me, because I want to backtrack a little. And when I mentioned before that I'd had, some threesomes and, explored with women one-on-one, that was a long time ago. And I know when I look back now, I was looking for something. I was looking for that connection within myself, and I never found it. It was never that satisfying for me. It wasn't really my thing. It was just something I was doing and experimenting and exploring. But what I understand about myself now, since I've been on this path and doing this work, is I have connected sexually with myself. It's not about anybody else anymore. It's actually about me and my own relationship with my own body and my own sexuality. And if anything, I actually feel more exclusive now. Like, I have a lover and I only want one. I don't want to be, that's because of, I don't know, it's just where I'm at in my life. Maybe if I was younger, it would be different, but I'm not in my experimental phase anymore. This work has deepened me and my own sacred, what is that, like the sacred union? In tantric practices, we call it the sacred union. And you can't have sacred union with another until you have that within yourself. And that is about finding the balance of your own inner masculine and feminine. And when we open ourselves up and explore and discover, well, when I have that balance and that wholeness within myself, that's satisfying enough. Like, I don't need to be looking for it and trying to find and having all these experiences anymore. So it's not, I mean, women can do whatever they like with it. If it opens them up to, exploring their sexuality in their way, great, that's fine. But that is not the intention. That is not my intention. That is not what I understand about doing Yoni massage. It's not for that purpose at all. It's actually just to help women open up to themselves and connect deeply with themselves on that level, like I have with me.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, so well said. I couldn't have said it better. I think that's such an important thing, is this is about, you have to have it here first. Absolutely. You have to, before even like you say, even connecting with one person, even connecting with maybe your partner of 30 years, 20 years, whatever, you have to have it here first. And be really in love and at peace with yourself, your self-worth, your sexual self-esteem. That is what you need to be addressing with yourself first. And that, I think, why this work is so important, because it takes you straight into that space. How connected are you with yourself? And if you're not, that's going to be really uncomfortable. But that's why you're there, to do that, to feel that.
That's right. And that might take a couple. I know that a couple of my case studies have said, oh, I feel like I need more. Can I come and have another one when you're qualified? It's like, absolutely. Oh, yes. Absolutely you can, because it's just the beginning of the journey for some women. Yeah, and even as a practitioner, I know that I need that too. Like a Yoni massage, it's not just the 4 that I had in Bali and one with you. It's like, oh no, there's layers, and how I can go deeper and deeper with this, and I can start unpeeling myself even more. So it's only the beginning. Some women might only want one, and that's fine. It might do the job. But definitely open yourselves up to more. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's a really important thing. Like, I have one probably about once a year, I think, is what my body, my yoni needs. And that really just helps me to peel back those layers and feeds me as well in my growth and nurturing what I need. But you're right, like some women come and a session is already 3 hours. Like there's only so much you can do in that time. Like it sounds like a long time, but it goes like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just hit the first layer and you're like, nah, there's so much more we need to do. So it's, yeah, absolutely. And every woman is at a different place with that. So tell us where you are, where women can find you, and how do they get their hands on you, or your hands on them, rather?
How do you let me get my hands on you? Well, like I said, I live in Albany, Western Australia, so it's 5 hours south of Perth. But you can contact me on Facebook. I have a new Facebook page called the Jade Yoni Temple, so you can contact me through there. That's probably, I don't have a website yet, that will come in the future, but my Facebook page, I'm also on Instagram now as well, so I don't know if you can contact me through Instagram because I'm not that familiar with it yet, but certainly through Facebook. I think the link will be in the comments.
We'll put all of those links in the comments of this video so that people can track you down.
You can track me down. You can book straight away. If you hit my book now button, it will take you straight to my Acuity booking, and you just, read the disclaimer, yes or no, fill out the required questions, and book it in and pay. It's all ready to go. And I am actually also willing to travel as well. So I'm willing to, I've got surrounds here. I can do Denmark. I'm even willing to travel to Perth. I can do Denmark. I can do Mount Barker. I can do Parongarups. I've got quite a regional area, and I'm willing to travel Pemberton, go for a weekend. So I'm quite open to traveling as well. But when you do come to me, I don't work from a health centre. I work from home. I've got a beautiful room. It's very private. It's very lovely. It's on the edge of a wildlife reserve. It's very private. There's a little sanctuary here. My room is beautiful. I love working. There's lots of good energy in that room. So you'll have a good experience.
Yeah, cool. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, gorgeous Rose, for giving us your time and your story. And yeah, we'll put all of those links in the comments so that people can find you.
Thank you so much. All right. Have a lovely day.